What sets successful weight loss locations apart from the ones that aren't as successful? One of the really exciting things about IntelliFran is that we work with nearly 100 locations nationwide and even in Canada. Many of us have been doing this for a number of decades, as a matter of fact. We've worked with as many as 450 locations, and we get the opportunity to see what is happening, almost like looking into a fishbowl. We've all done it. We've all worked the centers. We've all managed the centers. Most of us have owned locations. And what's fun about all this is being able to celebrate so many successes. Over the last couple of weeks, we have heard of unparalleled successes. Now, normally in these videos, we speak to the ownership, but this time it is exclusively for the rank and file. It is for part-time members, part-time staff, full-time staff if you exist, managers, assistant managers, marketing coordinators, you name it. We're talking to you today, and we want to tell you about some incredible success stories that are going on. And these are not necessarily in major markets. These are in pockets throughout the United States. Keep something in mind. We're in 3 provinces in Canada and 38 states in the United States. So we've got a pretty good cross-section of people that we're dealing with. And the old adage of, well, you don't understand, it's different there, doesn't live with us. It just doesn't fly. This works in successful markets. It works in markets that are in economic downturns, those that are having an accelerated economy, and everything in between. And there's a simple common thread amongst the centers that do exceptionally well, and that's the staff. A highly self-energized, self-motivated staff. When we call, we don't have to ask them to smile. They're already filled with energy, enthusiasm, and excitement. These are people that are naturally upbeat and motivated to want to do things. It wouldn't matter if they were digging ditches, burying the dead, or helping people buy weight loss programs, or counseling people on weight loss programs. They are just filled with excitement and life and energy. And those are the kinds of people that I encourage all of you to be like. Be more like people that are filled with energy and filled with enthusiasm and filled with electricity. Case in point, just today alone, we've spoken to 15 locations. I'd say 10 of those 15 locations, it was nothing but success stories. We could barely get a word in edgewise because people were telling us about sales success they were having, marketing success they were having, counseling, client success and compliance they were having, referrals they were getting. The other 5, it was, we did that, it didn't work. We tried that, it doesn't work. Or, you don't understand what our market is like. It's different here. Things just don't work in our market the way they maybe work in another market. That's all poppycock. Keep in mind, we have been, me in particular, I've been doing this since the late 80s and dealing with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of locations and thousands of people and tens upon tens of thousands of clients. And the same formula, the same recipe for success seems to exist all the time. If you approach it with energy, excitement, and enthusiasm and electricity, you'll make it happen. Now, that's not it. You can't just be excited about it. You got to have a game plan. You've got to have a strategy. So let's talk about strategy. Here's the series of strategies that seem to coexist amongst all successful locations. So let me dumb these numbers down. If I've got 10 names and numbers, I'll schedule 8. Out of the 8 I schedule, 4 will show up. Out of the 4 that show up, I'll enroll at least 3. And out of the 3 I enroll, at least I'll get 1 complete direct referral or indirect referral out of that. The key is to replicate that as much as we can. How can we make that continue to happen? Here's what the successful staff members do. When they understand those numbers, they are constantly working to keep that first part of the funnel fed, and that's the people with names and phone numbers. The first place they go are people that have no-showed a previous appointment. If we already know half the people that we book an appointment with don't show up, what do we do with them? We call them and call them and call them. I won't bore you and eat up a lot of digital time here. I'll just say we have a client location that has to reschedule appointments as many as 24 times. That's 24 times before people will walk through the door. Whether you are a consumer that believes in that or can embrace that or not is irrelevant. No one cares what you think. It's what the consumer thinks. So you may be in a market where you have to reschedule 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, 24 times. We know of someone I met her personally a few years ago in Columbia, South Carolina, who claimed to have scheduled and canceled and rescheduled and canceled and finally showed up appointments 2 to 3 times a year for 20 years before she ever showed up for an appointment. Yes, there are people like that out there. Whether you accept it or not is irrelevant. Your job, the job of successful people, are to continue to work those leads, work that dynamic until people walk through the door. They also generate new inquiries. They do it by getting a hold, making sure they post successfully on Facebook using the protocols that we recommend. They don't sit and say, but I don't like Facebook. It doesn't matter whether you like Facebook or not. I don't even like Facebook. But what you can enjoy are all the leads that are generated by Facebook when you follow the Facebook protocols that not just we recommend, that just work for the weight loss industry. When you pass out flyers, and I don't mean one here and one there and go talk to someone. You follow our protocol where in a matter of just a couple of days you can get 5, 6, even 700 flyers out in a way that makes the phone ring and make people come in. Hey, we just had a center tell us they did their analysis, and as much as we kind of joked about it, as much as they hated to admit it, they had in their bailiwick of new enrollments just from the last few weeks, someone who got a flyer last fall that just came in. We've had situations where that occurred 2 and 3 years after the fact. They walked in, unfolded it from their purse and said, is this offer still good? They work business-to-business opportunities, and they do it following the protocol that we recommend. You don't just go and schmooze and swill drinks. You go and you work the show. You have a specific close and a specific approach that you use to be able to use our free seminar program. Speaking of free, you also effectively use the free 10-pound program or the free 30-day program. This is what the successful centers are doing, and this is in addition to, and what supplements doing media buys according to the protocols and recommendations that we offer. Not just us, that are standardized for the industry, whether it's radio, television, newspaper, SEM, SEO, whether you're doing banner ads, digital ads, whatever you're doing, billboards, direct mail, blast voicemail, blast texting, blast calling, blast emailing, no matter what you're doing. While all these things are working, you've got to be doing some in the trenches activity, some guerrilla marketing that involves some face-to-face contact with people. So they know, it seems like everywhere they turn, they see your business, your brand, your opportunity for them to come in and take advantage of it. And all of this is done by staff that understands for them to get what they want, they've got to help someone else get what they want first. And the way that works is real simple. If someone is overweight, they've got to help that person get happily involved in a weight loss program so they can lose their weight, and then the staffer gets what they want. Now, let me talk about some brass tacks for a minute. I'm talking about part-time sales counselors making, $10 an hour. In some cases, maybe $15 an hour. Now, you may be thinking, well, what's the big deal there? What the big deal is, these are the same people that at the end of the month, the end of the year, are making 50, 60, 70, 80. We have a couple of people, we've seen verification, they made over $90,000 last year in bonuses and commissions because they worked our protocols, worked the protocols of their brand, did it with energy, enthusiasm, and electricity. Now, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I was a single parent. A lot of you watching this are single parents. This is an opportunity for a lot of you, and Lord knows I have had dozens and dozens, if not maybe close to 100 women that I have worked with, as well as men, but primarily women, that have used this kind of vehicle to provide untold riches for their family, working part-time. I can, right off the top of my head, think of 3 people that started off part-time as telemarketers that now own their own weight loss companies just a handful of years later. And I don't mean they had their own little shop somewhere. I mean $1 million organizations. These are people that in some cases barely got out of high school, and I'm going to tell you quite frankly, one of the 3, I don't know if she even got out of high school. As well as people with college educations, graduate degrees, doctorates in some cases. But this is an opportunity for a lot of you, especially if you're struggling as a single parent, with an opportunity for you to provide at a part-time level a more than full-time income to take care of you and yours. But you can't do it if you have the wrong attitude. I invite you to have the right attitude, the right energy, the enthusiasm, the electricity. Now's the time to have it. This is our peak earning season of the year. It's going to run for the next few weeks. It'll take a slight reprise or slight reprieve, and then it'll start all up again, run all summer, all the way into Thanksgiving. You've got an opportunity to have this be the biggest financial boom you've ever had in your life. If your location actively works with us, in fact, if I work with you, I'm looking forward to seeing you this week or next week if we've already had our meeting. If you're not part of our client locations and you'd like to be, we'll work with you and have a conversation and see if this is something that we can do to move your business forward. And for you, selfishly speaking, help you make more money, saving more lives so you can do more for your family. Have a great day. For more information, click us or call us.